This is Dabu7 with some underground world news. Start off here with a prison company carrying out illegal surveillance on Kansas inmates. And if it's happening there, you have to ask yourself, where else is it happening? This case and these findings involve 700 attorneys. This is a huge situation here. And now they're calling upon the special master, David Cohen, to expand this probe and determine whether prosecutors regularly listened to these individuals. They say they already have 227 phone call recordings and at least 30 videos exposing what has been going on here. All this secret documentation of inmates behind the scenes, and it's now starting to come out in the wash. So interesting there. Now, over here on Motherboard, it has a link to X Maps. This is a place that claims to be able to pick up on what the NSA has installed. What they're saying is a lot of these buildings that the NSA has been in, they have installed these listening posts where they can listen in and siphon the data that's going on, and they can go through certain entry points. Now, they map this area out and they try to find where those entry points are and secure them and block anyone from getting in. It's not, foolproof. It's not going to work 100%, I'm sure, because of their tactics. But it at least, if you can't block them, it shows you where these portals are and how they're getting in so that you know. And it's this day and age, it's happening widespread across the board. In another story here, we have Cheney echoing the words of McCain, saying that this Russian interference could be an act of war, saying the things that they were doing, meddling in our election, could be seen as like black ops type of war. But then he goes on to say, but it didn't affect the election and all this other stuff. But him, McCain, the same old warmongers, continuing with the rhetoric. Now today, Trump set to dismantle the Obama environmental regulations with an executive order that he is signing into motion. He's looking to do away with some of the restrictions on greenhouse gas emissions, specifically pertaining to jobs here in the United States. So, as this all goes into motion, it's going to have an effect on what happens here in this country, how businesses operate, coal plants, so on and so forth. There's more information here on that here at these links. But we also just had Sessions come out and make a statement to sanctuary cities, for those that missed it, across the board. He basically said that, if you don't comply with what we're saying, we're cutting your federal funding. And there's been this big surge, obviously, with the border stuff going on. I covered that in another video, with them going through people's electronics and a lawsuit being filed against the Trump administration because of that, saying that DHS is invading privacy, going through everyone's electronics, tablets, phones, the whole nine, at an alarming rate. That there was more devices gone through in the month of February 2017 than the whole year of 2015. Now, in another story here, we have Japan talking about recycling Fukushima soil for public parks. I mean, are you kidding me? This is just, some people are obviously very upset about this in Japan. It has sparked outrage as people are hearing this. And they're trying to say that it's premature public outcry. But the people are like, no, we don't want nothing to do with this tainted earth being put into parks where our children are going to play. But, the Fukushima thing is an ongoing situation the mainstream continues to ignore, as those radiated waters have slowly crept their way across the ocean up to our west coast. It's there. There's no denying that. The effects are seen all across the ocean. No one wants to talk about it. It's an ongoing problem that they still have not fixed. And some people are just, they can't believe that this is what they want to do. Take radiated soil and put it in public parks and in green areas. And that's where it sits in terms of Japan right now, guys. Now, I want to finish up here talking about some things going on over in Europe. And I look to have another video that I'm going to put out in terms of Crimea here in the future that's just going to have a load of information. It's going to go through some stuff maybe some of you guys haven't seen, some things I've covered in the past, some new information, some images, and show people what Crimea looks like, the history there, all the crazy stuff that we've found. And it really is intriguing because Crimea was so very, very important to Russia to take back during this whole fiasco with Ukraine. And as the Ukraine government was ran out of the country there and this new regime basically took over, Crimea has been in the crosshairs of NATO this whole time. NATO's announced they want Crimea. They're not going to stop till they get it back. Well, the ancient history of Crimea and that whole area running all the way from here, all the way up into the Caucasus Mountains, very ancient turf that has a lot of history. And as I've talked about before, with all the pyramid structures there, you can't get to them to research them, or no one's going to be researching them at this point because it's a full-blown war zone with Russia carrying out big drills as I speak in that area. Now, NATO carrying out big drills. We've seen this building up in Poland, Latvia, Estonia, on the border of Russia for years now. They have recently, in Lithuania, been marching within 40 miles of the Russian border. This massive buildup. Now, I want folks to keep in mind that they have a massive drill underway right now called Joint Warrior. This involves Sweden, Germany, France, Estonia, the UK, and the US. And where are they launching at? Scotland. This is very interesting. The timing of all this with Scotland is very, very interesting because right before they were supposed to vote on this IndyRef 2, we had the events that went down in London on Westminster Bridge that delayed everything. Now, today, they're in debates and they're looking to vote on this in Edinburgh. And they're doing this while this massive drill is going on off the coast of Scotland. So, what's so big about off the coast of Scotland? This area. Well, and this is just mighty suspicious to me in the timing of all this. A mammoth discovery has been made. They're saying the largest undeveloped discovery of oil in UK waters has been discovered west of the Shetland Islands, which, back out here, here's Scotland connected in here with the UK. They are in Edinburgh right now carrying out these talks. A lot of the military mounted up here, and they are off the coast of Scotland, all around, conducting these tests. Here is Shetland. So in here, west of it, this area somewhere, this is where they found this massive deposit. Apparently a game changer. Because they're saying with the announcement of this, it could raise the chances of Scottish independence. This being able to secure them. The timing, huh? Massive drill going on right over these waters. They make this announcement of this huge find right as they're getting ready to vote and break away. And regardless, it's a big find. 1 billion barrels could be extracted compared to the average findings of 25 million barrels in recent years. So, just to shed some light on what's going on there, so to speak, the bigger picture. A lot going on in this neck of the woods today, that's for sure. And I will continue to update on all these stories and more in upcoming videos. And make sure you're following me on Twitter for some of the latest updates as well. I will leave links below for all this. This has been Dabu7 with some underground world news.